The enigma of number stations. For decades, mysterious voices have echoed across the shortwave radio spectrum, delivering cryptic sequences of numbers, letters, or sounds to anyone who dared tune in. These transmissions, known as number stations, have captivated radio enthusiasts, conspiracy theorists, and intelligence agencies alike. Despite decades of analysis and speculation, the true origins and purposes of these broadcasts remain shrouded in mystery, creating a haunting presence on the airwaves. An enigma wrapped in secrecy, espionage, and covert operations. Number stations are simple yet eerie in nature. A monotonous voice, often automated, recites seemingly random strings of numbers, letters, or even musical tones. The broadcasts are typically transmitted in intervals, sometimes preceded by distinctive music or tones. Some of these stations feature a female voice, others a robotic male, while a few are famous for using children's voices to deliver their cryptic messages. What makes these broadcasts so chilling is not just their cryptic content, but their utter lack of context. What was the origin, who was sending them, and why were they necessary? The prevailing theory, widely accepted but never officially confirmed, is that number stations were used for espionage, sending encrypted messages to secret agents scattered around the globe during the Cold War and beyond. Intelligence agencies such as the CIA, MI6, or the KGB are believed to have been the orchestrators of these transmissions, using them to communicate with spies operating in hostile territories. By transmitting messages over shortwave radio frequencies, these agencies could reach operatives in far-flung regions with simple equipment, as shortwave signals could travel vast distances by bouncing off the ionosphere, making them perfect for secret communication. Unlike telephone lines or internet networks, radio transmissions are nearly impossible to trace back to the source. To understand why shortwave radio was ideal for this purpose, it's crucial to examine its unique properties. Shortwave frequencies, typically between 1.5 and 30 MHz, have the ability to travel around the world by reflecting off the ionosphere. This feature makes shortwave perfect for reaching operatives located across continents. No satellite technology or complex infrastructure was necessary. In contrast, AM and FM radio operate at much shorter ranges. AM signals, although capable of traveling hundreds of miles under the right conditions, are susceptible to interference and noise. FM, while offering superior audio quality, is limited to line-of-sight propagation, restricting its effective range to tens of miles at best. Shortwave, on the other hand, offered a global reach and relatively secure means of transmitting encoded messages, and the added advantage of being anonymous. Anyone with a basic shortwave receiver could tune into the broadcast, but only the intended recipient, equipped with the proper cipher, often a one-time pad, could decode the message. Without the key, the string of numbers was meaningless. A jumble of nonsense whispered into the ether. The foggy nature of number stations has made it difficult to prove who was behind them. However, incidents throughout the Cold War era provide compelling evidence of their connection to espionage activities. One famous case is that of Vasily Mitrokhin, a KGB activist who defected to the UK in 1992, bringing with him a treasure trove of classified documents. Among the revelations in the Mitrokhin archive were details on how the KGB utilized number stations to communicate with its agents abroad. Mitrokhin's disclosures confirmed that number stations played a crucial role in maintaining secret lines of communication between the Soviet Union and its spies during the height of the Cold War. Another example involves Cuban intelligence. In 1998, the FBI arrested 5 Cuban spies in the United States, later known as the Cuban Five. They were part of the WASP network, an operation run by Cuba's Directorate of Intelligence to infiltrate anti-Castro groups in Florida. When agents searched the homes of the Cuban Five, they found shortwave radios and notebooks filled with strings of numbers, classic hallmarks of number station transmissions. The FBI had intercepted these broadcasts, which turned out to be encrypted messages sent from Havana to their spies in America. This case was one of the rare instances where the direct connection between espionage and number stations was exposed, further cementing their role in covert intelligence operations. In a separate case in 2001, Anna Montes, a senior analyst of the US Defense Intelligence Agency, was arrested for spying for Cuba. Montes, known as one of the most damaging spies in US history, used shortwave radio to receive encrypted messages from her Cuban handlers. She would tune into the transmissions, decrypt the numbers using a one-time pad, and relay the information back to Cuba. Montes was eventually sentenced to 25 years in prison, but her case revealed just how central shortwave radio and number stations were to the intricate web of espionage. While the golden age of espionage seemed to dwindle with the end of the Cold War, number stations never fully disappeared. Enthusiasts and amateur radio operators continue to report strange broadcasts to this day. One of the most famous number stations is the so-called Lincolnshire Poacher, named after the traditional English folk tune that would play before each transmission. Believed to be operated by MI6, the Lincolnshire Poacher transmitted from Cyprus and was thought to have relayed instructions to British agents across the Middle East during the latter half of the 20th century. Although the station ceased broadcasting around 2008, its legacy remains. Another very infamous station is called the Buzzer. Operating from Russia, this station transmits a repetitive buzzing sound, punctuated occasionally by a voice reciting cryptic messages. The Buzzer has been active since the late 1970s, and though its exact purpose is unknown, many believe it is used by the Russian military for communication with troops or as part of a dead man's switch, a system designed to automatically retaliate in the event of a nuclear attack. These stations continue to broadcast, adding to the sense of mystery. Who are these messages for now? We'll never know. With the advent of digital technology, one might assume that the days of shortwave radio and number stations are over. Yet the appeal of these stations lies in their simplicity and resilience. Unlike internet-based communications, which can be hacked, traced, or monitored, shortwave radio offers a degree of anonymity and untraceability that remains valuable in espionage. Even as we move deeper into the 21st century, the foggy specter of number stations lingers. Their broadcasts, filled with cold, mechanical voices reading out strings of meaningless numbers, continue to confound and intrigue. Some believe these broadcasts are now directed at more modern forms of espionage. Perhaps terrorist cells or state-sponsored hackers, while others suggest that number stations are little more than ghostly remnants of a long-faded conflict. Whatever the case may be, the allure of number stations remains strong. In an age where digital surveillance is ubiquitous and secrets are easily exposed, the hauntingly analog nature of these broadcasts harks back to a time when espionage was conducted in the shadows and clandestine operations took place far from the prying eyes of the public. Shortwave radio, with its ability to span continents and penetrate even the most remote corners of the globe, remains a potent tool for those seeking to operate beyond the reach of modern technology. The number stations, with their coded messages and hidden meanings, stand as a testament to the enduring power of secrets and the length to which governments will go to protect them. Even today, number stations provide a glimpse into a hidden world where espionage, secrecy, and communication intersect. As much as technology advances, the allure of shortwave radio's simplicity and reach endures. Number stations remain a fascinating enigma, one that offers more questions than answers. Much like the world of espionage itself, the invisible hand of intelligence agencies may still be at work, sending out cryptic messages through the ether, even as we move into an increasingly digital age. Some secrets, it seems, are meant to remain just that, secrets. The crackling of distant frequencies and the monotone voices echoing through the static serve as reminders that some mysteries will never be fully unraveled. And that's okay. While the world turns to newer forms of communication, the ancient hum of shortwave radio persists, an open channel for whispers we aren't meant to hear. Somewhere in the depth of the airwaves, forgotten codes still float, awaiting their receivers. Hidden in plain sight, they are the ghosts of a secret world, alive yet unseen, leaving us to wonder, who is still listening and what are they waiting for?